Welcome back to Sports Universe. To continue my LeBron James versus Michael Jordan greatest basketball player debate, I will jump into some questions I have pulled together over the past week. After pulling a lot of questions, I came up with the top four in my opinion. So the first being, who is a better basketball player, keeping rings and winning aside? And that was received by my friend Joe DeYoung back home. In my opinion, I think it's very hard to determine this because both of them play very different styles and brands of basketball. LeBron James, I think, is more comparable to a Magic Johnson kind of player, and I think Kobe Bryant is a better comparison to Michael Jordan. But if you're going to look at it as a whole and based purely on stats, I think it has to be LeBron James. I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me on this, but LeBron James has an overall better skill set. He is probably one of the greatest passers we've seen in the NBA. I don't think you can say that about Michael Jordan. As well as Michael Jordan passed the basketball, I don't think I've ever seen anybody pass the ball from a standpoint of setting his teammates up better than I have seen LeBron James do it. LeBron James attracts so much attention that everybody else, there's like two other guys on the court that'll be wide open because he attracts so much attention. He's like a planet in the sun. Like everybody just gravitates around him. I might be my opinion might be skewed because of the fact that I'm growing up in the LeBron James era, and I've only watched highlights and some highlight tapes on YouTube of Michael Jordan. But LeBron James can play any position you want him to on the floor and still be effective. He could play the point guard, which you've seen this year. He could play two guard. He plays the three. He could play power forward, and he can guard centers if he wants. Like in the NBA Finals, this past time he's played the Warriors have gone small, and he's been able to guard a Draymond Green. I don't know if you consider Draymond Green a center, but he's able to guard those kind of players. He's able to guard a JaVale McGee. He's able to guard an Andrew Bogut. Like, I don't think that there's a player in the league LeBron James can't guard, to be honest. Jordan, on the other hand, can create his own shot by doing anything. Off the dribble, off a screen, off a catch. But if you're looking at it based on an all-around basketball player, which is what this question, I think, if I'm interpreting correctly, is asking, who is a better basketball player? And to be the best basketball player, you have to play all aspects of basketball. And that includes the defensive end, and I think LeBron James is one of the best defenders we've ever seen, but he's being stuck inside of a soft NBA where you are not allowed to even poke a person as he goes by you. It's getting ridiculous at this point. The NBA rules are holding back LeBron James' defensive potential. If he was playing in the 90s, LeBron James would be Defensive Player of the Year every single year. Every year. But he's not. And I think the only person who will be able to control and stop LeBron James is LeBron James himself. Like, if LeBron James can get hurt, or if LeBron James can somehow not be as good as he is, which I don't think is going to happen, then he's going to not be as good. Jordan, you see other players like Michael Jordan. You've seen Kobe Bryant. I think the next person you're going to compare to, I don't think it'd be as good as a Kobe or a Jordan. But the next player you're going to compare their skill sets to that is like a Jordan and like a Kobe Bryant is going to be Devin Booker. Devin Booker, all he can do is score the basketball. Not saying that all Jordan and Kobe can do is score the basketball, but that he scores in a way that Jordan and Kobe are able to score. So if you're putting it by just an all-around basketball player, it's going to be LeBron James. So my next question comes from Matt Campese, and it's a three-part question. Who is a better shooter? Who's a better playmaker? And who's a better defender? To start off with shooting, they both aren't great shooters, but if I had to give it to one person, it'd be Jordan. Just the fact that his jump shot was so consistent from mid-range. He can create his own shot, like I had mentioned before, off the dribble, off a screen, off the pass. He can do whatever he wants with his shot. And once he gets in a split second of open space, you know it's going in the net. It's going to be nothing but net. LeBron, on the other hand, he takes a mid-range jumper. He's got a fadeaway form. Sometimes, in the beginning of a game especially, I think you hold your breath. Because which LeBron James shot you're going to get? You're going to get money, turnaround, fadeaway LeBron James, where he can't miss all game like you saw last week against the Wizards. Or you're going to get back rim, attacking the basket, LeBron James, where he's not confident in his shot. I feel like that's the main difference between the two in their shot. Because their shooting is so similar. Both of them really don't shoot a great three. But they're mid-range when they want it to be, especially LeBron when he wants it to be, can be on. Jordan's mid-range was on all the time, which is why I got to give him the shooter part. But if you look at it as a percentage style, if you look at the stats, like I said before, stats always tell the facts. If you look at it with stats, surprisingly, LeBron James has a better field goal percentage just because he takes so much more inside shots, I think, which is an attest to his game and his size and his ability to use his strength. And he actually has a better three-point percentage. LeBron is shooting 35% over his career from three. Jordan only shot 32. The field goal percentage is so slim. LeBron's shooting 51 and Jordan's shooting 49. But free throw percentage, Jordan has him by at least I think it's 8%. I think it's 85 to 77. I want to say, which is it's a big jump in the NBA with especially free throws. Going to a better playmaker. I figured I'd just put this question in there, or this part of the question in there, just to laugh at it. If you don't think LeBron James is the greatest playmaker we've ever seen, then you need to stop watching basketball. Because the way LeBron James can attack the rim and finish with both hands, sometimes I think he's a lefty because he finishes so well with the left hand. I mean, the ball looks like a tennis ball in his hand when he goes up. It's just like he can switch in the air no matter what, like no matter what he does. And even if he's not trying to finish, he's going to throw it down in your head. I mean, that's still finishing, but he can lay it in when you think he's going to slam it. He's going to slam it when you think he's going to lay it in. You never know what you get when he's attacking the rim. And sometimes he'll even switch it up. If he's attacking the rim and he sees a guy open in the corner, whoop, kick it out in the corner. Open three, Kevin Love, bang. Open three, Rashard Lewis when he's played on the Heat, bang. Like, there's James Jones, money. He makes everybody else around him better. Significantly better, too. Tristan Thompson went from very, very shaky, I'd say, to a double-double guy, a 10-10 guy, just because of the entrance and impact of LeBron James. LeBron, creating so much attention when he drives, is able for him to just dump the ball off to Tristan Thompson on the block. Jordan, I guess you could say he made his players around him better in a competitive way, like I mentioned before, but in a playmaking way, no one has ever done it like LeBron James. Magic Johnson, yes, but I don't think he's even close to on a level as LeBron James. The next part of the question is a defender. You guys know how much I love LeBron's defense. I mentioned it a lot in this show. Jordan was not a bad defender himself. Jordan was an 8-team all-defensive guy. LeBron's 6-team all-defensive guy. But like I had said before, the NBA was a style. It wasn't the 90s as it is today. LeBron would be Defensive Player of the Year every single year. He can put an emphasis on defense. Just because defense is still important in the league, defense still wins you games and still wins you championships. But it's not as important if you're able to score 120 points in a game with ease like the Cavs can. But it's not. And LeBron, even with the soft NBA, is an outstanding defender. Top 5 in the league. I give it to Rudy Gobert, Kawhi Leonard, Draymond, Anthony Davis, and LeBron. Top 5 defenders. And it sucks how you got to do if it was top 5 defenders in the league for all defensive team, LeBron would be in it. But since they got to do it by position, which I think is stupid, he never gets the recognition he deserves. But I think the defending part is split. I think that LeBron is a better playmaker, Jordan's a better shooter, and I think they're equally as good as defenders due to the time periods they're playing in. The next question comes from my boy Robbie T. He asked, if Jordan never left basketball for baseball, would this be a debate? No, it wouldn't be a debate. Jordan would have it in the bag. This one is tough for me to answer just because I have to look at the facts that Jordan was on pace to shatter every single record known to basketball before he left for baseball. He would have destroyed the scoring record. He would have been in top 10 in almost every single major category. which is unheard of for a basketball player, which is what LeBron James is on pace to be now, which is why I think that LeBron should be considered the GOAT. But since he did leave, it raises you the questions, why did he leave? Why did he leave in the prime of his NBA career? After a three-peat? Who leaves after you winning 3 straight championships? Was he really that bored that he had to go try baseball? No. It's the theory of the gambling. I'm convinced. I think so. I'm not 100% sure. But if I ever get Michael Jordan in person, one-on-one, I'm going to ask him straight up. Be like, yo, MJ, come on. Why'd you really leave basketball? What's the real reason? Come on. We all know why. Maybe he'll tell me. Maybe he'll tell me something else that I can't say over radio, but maybe he'll tell me something else. The next question came from my friend Brent. He said, if LeBron played in the 90s and Jordan played in the 2000s, or LeBron's era, who would have been the better player? LeBron. The world of sports, not even the world of basketball, the world of sports has never seen a physical nature like LeBron James ever. I don't think you can even compare anybody to the way that LeBron James treats his body. Jordan would still be in consideration because we've never seen a player like him either. But a prime example of a player we've seen who's similar to him, who's similar to him is Kobe Bryant. And I don't think I can think of a player off the top of my head right now who is at a LeBron James skill set who played in the 90s. Someone who can score, who can play defense, who can pass the ball, who can rebound. Magic Johnson, but I don't consider Magic Johnson being playing in Michael Jordan's time in the 90s. Magic Johnson's an 80s guy. Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, that's the rivalry in the 80s. In the 90s, it's Jordan dominating. That's what it is. I don't consider anybody else in the 90s to be anywhere near the quality of LeBron James. If you can talk about the 80s, yes, Magic Johnson. But the 90s, no. With all these questions being taken into consideration, the questions being who's a better basketball player, keeping winning aside and rings, it's LeBron James. Point 1 for LeBron. Who's a better shooter and playmaker and defender? Shooter, Jordan. Playmaker, LeBron. Defender, I give it a tie. So, if you had to pick one, though, if you had to look at everything in great detail, comparing splits and PERs and all these advanced statistics that not many regular fans know, I think you got to give it to LeBron. Point 2, LeBron. If Jordan never left the basketball for baseball, would this even be a debate? That goes to Jordan. We all know that Michael Jordan, if he never left, this wouldn't be a question. He's on pace to destroy all records. Everybody knows the deal. He would have won 8 straight championships. There was nobody who was going to slow him down. And the debate between 90s LeBron and Jordan in LeBron era, you got to give it to LeBron. You've seen players like Jordan in the 2000s. Kobe Bryant is the prime example. Kobe Bryant emulated Michael Jordan's game to the point where if you look at their shots and you compare them side by side, it's like a mirror image. It's like Kobe Bryant is Michael Jordan with a new skin on. But he's just not as talented, and he never will be. That's why I don't think Kobe's even in a discussion for greatest of all time. I would even put Magic Johnson in the discussion before I put Kobe Bryant. So if you look at it by the questions that I'm asked, it's 3 points LeBron, 1 point Jordan. So what does that tell you? In my opinion, it tells me LeBron is on pace to be the greatest basketball player of all time. I don't think that it's going to even be a question by the time LeBron retires, which I don't think will be for another decade. I don't think he's going to retire until late 2020s. The NBA is going to be dealing with him for a long time. I think he's going to prevent extremely good players from winning rings. Like Kyrie Irving, I don't think Kyrie Irving will ever sniff a ring again. Ever since he left the Cavaliers, it's the worst mistake of his life. I don't think Giannis, the Greek Freak, will ever sniff a ring, even though they have a talented young team. I don't think with LeBron he won't even come close, especially in the Eastern Conference. If LeBron stays in the East, it's not even going to be a question. I'm a big LeBron fan, as you can tell. I don't hate Jordan. I love Jordan. He's a great basketball player. I just think that maybe my opinion is skewed because I'm growing up in the 2000s and LeBron era, but I just think if you look at it in depth and you look at it as a basketball standpoint, LeBron James is the better player. It's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. LeBron James is the most dominant player I've ever seen. A couple of my friends always bring up the debate: if LeBron James were to fight Floyd Mayweather, who would win? And I think you give it to LeBron James. He's just too much of a great athlete. If you give LeBron 2 months to train how to box, what's going to happen with Floyd Mayweather? I think his teeth will be all over the boxing ring. So with that being said, I'll leave it off just on that. Thanks for joining me today on Sports Universe. We'll see you next week.